Hi guys, welcome back. Today, it's October. Okay, I'm joking. Today's October, and the One Punch Man season 3 is coming out soon. And so I decided, because of those two things, I decided to talk about my favorite character in One Punch Man, Zombieman. He's a zombie, and it's Halloween, spooky month, ooh, and One Punch Man season 3 is coming out. And I think, according to me reading the manga like eons ago, he should be getting his fights animated. So yeah, he's already animated, but like we haven't seen him put the work in yet. So yes, so watch me glaze my favorite character for like 9+ minutes. Let's get started. Okay, so if you don't know what One Punch Man is, basically it's like a slice of life action anime in which we follow the main character Saitama, and he basically just goes about his life, monsters, being a hero, and he's just kind of like, dang bro, like, can I fight something strong? And yeah, but there's also like a side plot going on in which like they're like fighting pretty much monsters every day on like different rankings. I will place the rankings like somewhere in this video because I'm not gonna lie, I forgot it. It's been a bit since I read the manga. I actually have to reread the manga, but on my wall, I'm going to show you actually. On my wall, I have One Punch Man panels, and I have panels of said character that I'm glazing today, Zombieman. So let's go ahead and take it to the panels. Okay, so like here's my room decor. Let's see if you can. Oh, there's like hecka spoilers because I actually read manga. Let's see, we have Metal Bat right here. Yes, we love Metal Bat. Metal Bat's also one of my favorite characters, but I feel like Metal Bat already gets a good bit of recognition and edits, so I don't have to talk about him. And then we got the donut of the we got the donut to glaze, Zombieman, sort of. That's not a body in my bed, mind you. That is my body pillow. If you guys want to see what my body pillow looks like, please like and subscribe to the video. So I already gave like a very brief and horrible explanation of One Punch Man. So let's talk about Zombieman, which is the our main character of the day. So Zombieman is essentially an experiment in which he's basically a zombie, and he has ultra power. Shoot, that was a horrible explanation. Let me just. Computer. Okay. Zombieman is one of the S-class heroes in the One Punch Man universe. S-class heroes being like the top ranking heroes. So you know you have like S and then A, B, C, and so on and so forth. So Zombieman, I'm pretty sure, is ranked number 8 on the S-class heroes, I think. And there's like a little bit of beef between him and Sweet Mask. Beef is kind of one-sided on Sweet Mask and with Sweet Mask calling a monster, whatever. He's one of the S-class heroes, and he premieres in the he's like in between the Monster Association arc and the arc before that. I don't know, I think that was the tournament arc. Animated. Hence why I decided to make this video, because if season 3 is getting animated, then I think the Monsters Association arc is going to be animated, in which we will see Zombieman, in which hopefully I'll get to see more content of him. So yeah. And by content, I need edits. Yes, he was created by this doctor, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of breezed past that part. I'll read into that later. Yeah, he has been animated already, but we just haven't seen him like fight and haven't seen his powers, which is what I'll be getting to right now. So his powers, he has regenerative abilities, hence the name Zombieman. That name is also given because he has gray skin and he can regenerate all of his body parts, his blood, etc., etc. He also has like enhanced super strength, you know, basic power. I feel like that's just in One Punch Man, like, you know, super strength, high endurance and stamina, and so on and so forth. He's also like a detective-ish character. Apparently, looking into the wiki, they said that like the detective, like the kind of dress that he was giving was kind of given like noir, kind of like detective-ish. So I thought that was kind of interesting, little flair on his character. There is, well, at least what I see, there is kind of like a certain aspect to his character in which like he's not entirely human, and that does come up a few times, which is, I feel like that makes with him being an experiment and a zombie-like man, there is some aspects of his humanity that comes up very often within his character art, or just like with him being on screen. There are aspects of like his humanity and like, you know, him maybe seeing himself as a monster. That's what I kind of peaked. It's just like, bro, like you're the only real monster on the team because you're considered like a zombie. So like the fact that you're S-class hero, pretty interesting. He's really cool with Child Emperor, which I find absolutely adorable because soft spot for children, yes, automatic. Anyways, along with his powers and along with his impeccable drip, he also carries weapons with him. These weapons commonly include guns and also axes. The way he's able to use these weapons and his powers is one of the best ways I've ever seen regenerative ability. Like Bond from Seven Deadly Sins, get out of here. You've been dethroned. Like you're out here. Zombieman is like on top. Like best use of like regenerative ability, not only for defense, but also for offense. Like perfect, spectacular, amazing, 10 out of 10. 100. You get where I'm going. So yeah, to show off the way he uses these regenerative abilities, I'm going to talk about a few panels and just like briefly explain like basically his fight during the arc. Despite fighting not being his forte, as he stated and as the wiki has stated, is more of like detective work and sneaky work. But he's managed to like kill a bunch of monsters in his wake in his chapter alone, and managed to sustain crazy damage but still heal up and get to work essentially, only taking a smoke break after the whole entire chapter, in which God knows who long that was. That fight with the vampire dude was 30 minutes plus. And he's managed to heal how many injuries in 30 minutes? That's absolutely cool. But I feel like with his power also brings up a certain aspect of his character in which it's mentioned a few times, in which he's almost considered almost a monster and not necessarily human. But I feel like his drive to get to the goal and protect his fellow humans is what makes him human. Kind of like the human's will or like human determination. I feel like that aspect to a character that is essentially an experiment makes him super duper interesting as well as his fighting ability. I think I slayed with that. If y'all understand what I was saying, let me know. He has no limits. Well, it seems as if he has no limits of how much he can get injured, but despite the fact that he gets injured to his absolute devastating measures, he always still manages to either use those injuries as an offensive or, despite those injuries, still carry out the goal that he needs to carry out. I feel like when characters have regenerative abilities, I feel like they simply, and this is just from my experience, like let me know if there's any different characters who like have different regenerative abilities or like use it differently or whatever. But I feel like my biggest example is just like Bond from Seven Deadly Sins. The thing that made me so mad about his fighting style is that it seems like he would get injured, wait to get healed, and then do what he has to do. Or like he would get injured and like hit his little 1-2, and then it's just like, okay, I'm out of commission. Let me just go ahead and keep getting beat until I have a good idea. But the difference between Bond and Zombieman is that Zombieman, I feel like, is a very strategic guy. He's very strategic and very adaptable. And I think that's what makes him really, really good at fighting, despite it not being his forte. He's able to adapt to the injuries that he succumbs to and still manage to get the job done. When his head gets turned this way, he still manages to shoot the gun and land a pretty nasty hit on the vampire dude. When he is in trouble, he keeps an extra gun in his chest, knowing that the multitude of weapons that he keeps in his trench coat could run out. So he keeps a gun in his chest just in case. He's able to use these weapons very well as well. So it's not like he's just throwing these weapons around and using them just any kind of way. He knows how to use nearly all these weapons, and along with him being injured, he can still manage to hit his target. and kill the monsters you gotta kill. That is it. I just wanted to take time to glaze a character that I feel like is not getting glazed enough. Also to show a character that shows one of the best regenerative abilities, probably in animation. Notice I said one of the best. This is all my opinion, so don't kill me. And if you want to discuss more in the comments, you are more than welcome to do so. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow, subscribe, like, even comment, because I will reply to your comment. And yeah, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time.